Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about how to draw and trade harmonic patterns. I actually know most of you guys are well fond of harmonics and you're having issue drawing and knowing how to trade it. So in today's video, I will be talking about just two of the patterns. Then in my next video, I'll be covering another pattern and until I finish the whole patterns. We have 5 patterns in total, which are the bat pattern, the Gartley pattern, the shark pattern, the 5-0 pattern, and the cipher pattern. So in today's we have the butterfly also, and we have the crab. So in today's video, I will be covering about the Gartley and what a bat pattern. So real quick, what is a Gartley pattern? Or before that, let's talk about what harmonic pattern is. Harmonic patterns are chart pattern based on Fibonacci numbers and their ratios. It can help to identify possible reaction at a high or the low of the trend. The primary theory behind harmonic pattern is based on the price movement, which links to Fibonacci ratio, relationship, and the symmetry in the market. The basic idea of using this ratio is to identify the completion of this pattern, which could be a turning point of the trend or retracement of the present swing high or low. So let's talk about what a Gartley pattern is. First of all, what is a Gartley pattern? We all know that the Gartley pattern can be identified as one of the most traded harmonic pattern. It can be a retracement pattern or a continuation pattern that occurs when a trend temporarily reverses its direction before continuing on its original trend. We can identify this pattern with the help of the Fibonacci level. All patterns are being identified with the help of Fibonacci. There is no pattern that you definitely want to trade that you're not going to identify, or you're not going to make use of the Fib to identify this pattern. Now let's talk about the ratio of a Gartley pattern. We already know what harmonic pattern is. We already know what a Gartley pattern is. In one word, what is the ratio, and what ratio do we really need, the accurate ratio to spot a Gartley pattern? You guys don't want to forget that I said in my last video about the cheat of an harmonic, which is you look out for the deformed M's and W's. But after you get in the deformed M's and W, I told you guys that you need the ratio to be accurate in order to spot the patterns. So now, a Gartley pattern Fib ratio goes thus. The X to A leg is your impulse move you intend to start your pattern from. I hope you guys understand what I mean by X to A leg is your impulse move, which means any impulse move in the market can be your X to A leg. You can take any movement as your X to A leg. So your X to A leg is always the start of an harmonic. Without X to A leg, there's no way you're going to get your B and the rest of the 5-leg patterns. So now that you identify your X to A leg, what is your B leg? Your B leg is the retracement of 618 Fib level. A 618 Fib level retracement from the impulse of X to A. So that X to A that you got, the 618 Fib retracement, is your B leg. While the candle, that present candle that retraced to the 618, cannot close below the 78.6 Fib level, which simply means they can go beyond 618, but they cannot close below the 78.6 Fib level. Now that you got your B leg, the next leg is your C leg. Your C leg is the retracement of 618 Fib level from the impulse of A to B. What I mean is that from your A to your B leg, the 618 retracement is what? The B leg is your C leg. You must make sure you get a 618 retracement of A to B. While your D leg, which is where you find your entry for that pattern, your D leg is always the A leg or the area where you look out for entry for that pattern. So your D leg is a retracement of 78.6 fib level from the impulse of that original start of your trend, which is X to A. Your D leg, which is your entry, which is where you find your entry for that pattern, is a retracement of 78.6 fib level from X to A. Now let's talk about the bar pattern. What is the ratio of the bar pattern? The bar pattern is also one of the most traded pattern because it occurs mostly on your chart. You find your bar pattern most of the time on your chart. So one of the most traded pattern also is the bar pattern. After the Gartley, you find your bar pattern most of the time. So what is the ratio for your bar pattern? Your bar pattern X to A leg is the same thing as your Gartley, which is what is where you intend to start your pattern from. Or any pattern you intend to look out for, your X to A leg is going to be your start of the trend. While your B, start of the harmonic, while your B leg is the retracement of 38.2 fib level from the impulse of X to A. While the candle cannot close below 618 fib level of X to A. Your C leg is the retracement of 50 fib to 88.6 fib level from the impulse of A to B. Your C leg is the retracement of 50 fib to 88.6 level from the impulse of A to B. Your D leg, which is where you find your entry for that pattern, is a retracement of 88.6 fib level of X to A, while she can extend to the 1.113 fib extension from the impulse of X to A. Now that we discover how or what the fib ratio of the BAT pattern and the Gartley pattern is, let's talk about the stops and the targets. The stops and target areas for these two patterns goes thus. Harmonic's way of trading allows giving room for your trade to breathe, which simply means they allow you using a small, I'm not gonna say huge stop loss, but a little bit high stop loss, because it allows you to give your trade some room to breathe. Your stop loss level for these two patterns are 20 pips away from X leg, which means 20 pips away from where the X leg starts from is your stop loss. When I'm talking about 20 pips away, it's gonna be 20 pips below X leg. Your take profit levels are classified into three areas. That's what I meant to write there. Your take profit levels are classified into three areas. Take profit 1 is the fib retracement level of 38.2 of C to D, which means you take your fib from the level C, from point C to point D. Your 38.2 fib retracement is your first TP, while your take profit 2 is the 618 of C to D. Same thing. While take profit 3 is always an open level, which means open TP, because the move could turn into a swing depend on the trend or depend on how the harmonic wants to play out. Okay guys, with that being said, let me go into the chart to show you how these patterns are being traded in just a real live example. Okay vlogs, like I said earlier, that you want to focus on the in one of my videos I talk about, in my very first video I talk about you looking out for the form M's and W's in order to spot your patterns. Now I want to talk about how you can actually use the ratios after you discover your deformed M's and W, how you can place your ratio in order to identify if the pattern is valid or not, because you want to understand that inside a valid pattern there could be an invalid pattern, and an invalid pattern can also looks like a valid pattern. So you don't want to forget that we're talking about the BAT and the Gartley pattern. So now I said earlier that you want to look out for W's and M's in one of my videos. So I talk about you looking out for W's. Right here you can actually see this is a W. We can also talk about saying, could this be an M? So now let's just check if this actually is aligned with any of the harmonic ratio. The moment you identify a W or a M on your chart, talking about W that does not break the low, right here you're talking about W that doesn't break the low. Okay, now let's just stick to the pattern that we're actually talking about in this video. The pattern we're talking about in these videos are Gartley and Bat pattern. Gartley and Bat pattern falls to the categories of M's that doesn't break the low, M's that doesn't break the top, and W's that doesn't break the low. The Gartley and the Bat pattern falls into this category: M that doesn't break the low, that doesn't break the top, and W's that never breaks the low. That is the category that the Gartley pattern and the Bat pattern falls into. When I make videos about the shark and the other rest of the pattern, I'm going to tell you the category they falls into. But Gartley and Bat patterns falls into categories of what? Of W's and M's that doesn't break the low and top. Now automatically I can see that this low is not being taken out. We got a possible M right here that the top is not taken out. All I just need to do at this present point in time, I didn't mean this was what I had at that point in time. This was what I had at that present point in time. All I need to do at this present point in time is apply my fib ratio, right? All I need to do is what? Apply my fib. I apply my fib on this move just for me to understand or see if this is actually accurate. I open this chart right now, the 2-hour time frame. All I just discovered was, oh, I got a possible M right there or W right there. I really want to know if this is actually accurate or not. So all I need to do is what? I apply my fib, right? So now talking about the fib, this is the fib settings you should have if you want to trade harmonic. I already talked about, you guys can go back and watch out my fib retracement, how I modify the fib. So these are the fib settings you should have if you want to trade harmonic. You need what? The 38.2, the 618, the 50 fib, the 65. You can actually take this out. You don't need this. You need 70.2. You need this. You need this. You need the Z negative 414. You need the negative 1.113. You need the 1.272. You don't need this. You need the 1.113. These are all the fib ratios, and you need the 1.1618. These are the fib levels you need if you want to be an harmonic trader, just for trading harmonic. Now that we have this, you want to go back to the fib ratio of Bat pattern. Right here I talk about Bat or I mentioned I'm discussing about Bat or Gartley. Now I want to talk about this. Looks like a W that never breaks the low, so it falls into category of what? A Gartley pattern or a Bat pattern. Now let's talk about this. If you want to place a ratio from here, which I mentioned that the X leg and the A leg are always the start of what? Of your harmonic. It could be your X to A leg, could be any impulse in the market. So I can just say, okay, this is my X leg. This is what I want to use as my X leg. Whereby I got this as my A leg. So what? After I identify that, what do I need to do? I need to check out to see if my B ratio is actually valid. So I place a fib from X to A and look out for the B leg. Now this is the AW that I had. I don't want to know if this is valid before I take the harmonic trade. So from X point to my A point, what am I looking out for, guys? I'm looking out for the 38.2 and cannot go all the way to the 618, right? That was what we had for the Bat pattern. Now this never gets to the 618, so this is an invalid Gartley. Automatically I can say this is not a Gartley. I'm looking into category of a Bat pattern. Now I got the 50 fib right there. Now after I got the 50 fib, I already identified that my B leg is active. I just spot out like, okay, yes, I got a B leg right there. I need to know if my C leg is going to be active for me to identify my D leg. Now how do I know if my C leg is active? I may mention that you take your fib, you can take out this fib, you take your fib again, you start from A point and bring it all the way to the B point. What are you looking at for? 38.2 all the way to the what? I like the 50 fib. I said 50 fib all the way to the 88.6. Automatically I can see the market is respecting the 88.6 right there. Okay, now this is also a valid C leg. I maxed it out. Okay, what I need again is what? My D leg. I need to confirm if my D leg is valid. How do I know that? I place the same fib. I started from what? From my X point. I bring it all the way to the what? To the A point. What am I looking at for? 88.6, right? So automatically this is my 88.6 fib. Right here is my 88.6 fib. Right here. So I can just say, okay, if market gets back into this point, or our market is right there, I might just start anticipating sell entry right there. And what are the confirmation you need? You somehow need some kind of consolidation or some kind of packet trying to still slow around there, some kind of chart pattern, anything you can look out for confirmation around this point. You don't want to forget that bat pattern also can extend all the way back into this area, so you have that in mind. So now let's say you're looking out for sell entry right from here. If market breaks this top, then they're going to do some kind of stop hunt and come all the way to the 1.113. That is if they want to extend, but from this area is where you're looking at for sell entry. So now what did price did? While you're looking at for sell entry right there, you want to know your stop loss. Let me just say I put in my sell entry. My stop loss is going to be what? From the X point, I'm targeting what? The 20 pips away from X point. So let me put my fib there again so that you guys can understand. I'm looking out for the 88.6 fib level from here to here. 88.6 fib level right here. So which means my entry is around this area for the sell, while I'm looking at about 20 pips away from X point. So this is my X point, that is 19 pips. I'm gonna add 20 pips to it, so I'm gonna be using 39 pips stop loss right there, about 40 pips right there. Where's my TP? My TP1 is gonna be where? 38.2 of A to D. So I'm gonna place a fib right there from here to D. I'm looking at for 38.2, which simply means right here is my first TP. Talking about this level, I'm just gonna say the first arrow, my first TP is coming all the way to 38.2, while second TP is coming all the way to what? The 618. So now let's see what the price did. You can see right from the 88.6, market start making what? Eat all your two TPs and make it all the way to the upside again. You can see rightly right there was a nice bat pattern right there. Automatically you can see what we had. There was a nice bat pattern around this area, which is this. So if I'm going to just make use of my harmonic ratio, I don't like to make use of harmonic ratio, the one that trading view has. I make use of the one I had myself. This is the pattern, a nice bat pattern, W that never breaks the low. If you place on your fib all through, you can actually tell right from here. You bring it all the way to the downside, you have 50 fib right there, 88.6 fib right there, 88.6 for what? For the D leg. And what? Market eats all your TP. Now let's talk about Gartley. Now a Gartley pattern also is what? It falls to the category of M's and W's that never breaks the what? The low. So let's just, I want to make it so clean for you guys so you can enjoy when you're looking at this. Sorry guys, I just want to make something clearer a little bit. Okay, so we're talking about M's that have our W's that never breaks the low for Gartley. Right now, this is our bat pattern. Now, I opened my chart when the market was actually making its way down. I was like, okay, come, this looks like an M also. Can I just confirm if this is a Gartley pattern? Oh, this looks like an M that never breaks the low. Let me check if this is a valid Gartley pattern. How do I check? I need to check with my ratio. So I start my ratio from this starting point, bring it all the way to the top. Boom. My Gartley pattern sells, my C leg needs to be, and my B leg needs to be at the 618 right there. Market came all the way to the 618, valid B leg. So I need to confirm the C leg. C leg also said what? 618. From here to here, what do I get? 618 all the way to the 70.6 active. My C leg is also active. Now what do I need to confirm? My D leg. My D leg needs to fall at what? The 70.6 of this point to this point. From X to A, 70.6. From here to here, what do I get? 70.6. TP1, where's your stop loss? Your stop loss is gonna be long entry right here, 70.6. Boom. Your stop loss is 20 pips away from the low. This is your low. From that area to the low, you already have about 45 pips. 40 pips, 20 pips, that's gonna be 60 pips. Your TP1 is gonna be 38.2 of A to D. Now where is your A to D? Just check it from. This is your X, A. Right here was your X. You don't want to forget that. I don't want to waste much time on this. This is your X. Why this is your A? You don't want to forget that this is your B leg. Why this happens to be your C leg. Why this is your D leg, which is where you found your entry from. Now check it out. Where is your TP1? Your TP1 starts from what? From A to D leg. You check the 38.2. Where's the 38.2? Right here. How many pips? 40 pips. your TP2 618. I told you your TP3 could be as long as you want it. Look at it. If you hold a swing, you're about 190 pips in profit. But the very first 2 TP are very likely to be hit. Why you can actually hold if you want to hold, depend on the swing or depend on the market trend at that point in time. So I just gave you guys a quick example of a Gartley pattern and what a bat pattern. Let me just draw this out. I'm gonna give you 1 or 2 more examples. The only way you guys can actually be alright and accurate with these things is what by practicing and checking out your chart. Master this thing on your head. Now let's check another one. Right, yeah. What can you see? Me looking at what we have right here. What can you see? I personally, I can see so many patterns. I can see the form M's right there. M that doesn't break the top. I can start my distance right from here. This never take that top out back into that range. I can see some kind of W right here, back into that range. I can see some kind of M at this point, back into this range. All I need to do is what? I need to confirm with my ratio. So now let's put our ratio on this very first one. I'm putting my ratio on this, the form M, from here to here to here. Putting my ratio out. So I'm going to start my ratio from this point, take it all the way to the top. What am I looking at for? 38.2 or all the way to the 618. I want to identify which of this pattern is forming, either Gart or Gartley. Right here, market expect the 38.2. Automatically, I knew it is not a Gartley. That is what a bat pattern. Comes all the way back to this area, 88.6, and market rallies all the way back to the low, 88.6 right there. This is a nice Gartley pattern. Check it out. Go ahead and practice with it. From here to here, back to the low, back to the top, back to this area. A very nice bat pattern. Now let's check another one. Where's the nice Gartley pattern that we have? Okay, I'm gonna say right from here to here. I want to put my fib out. From here, bring it all the way to the low. What am I looking at for? 38.2 or 618. I want to identify which of the pattern is for me. Is it a Gartley or a bat? Right here I can see we had a 618. Automatically this is not a bat, this is a Gartley. This is a potential Gartley until my C leg and D leg are being confirmed. Right from here to here, I got a 618. If I put my fib from A to B, I put my fib from this point, which is my A leg, back to my B leg. I'm just gonna say my fib from my A point back to my B leg. What do I have? 618. So right there I knew this is what a potential Gartley. All I need to do to confirm this is my D leg. And what is my D leg gonna be? 70.6. So start my fib from here, bring it all the way to the low. What am I looking at for? 70.6 for that D leg right there. You can see. So if I'm taking a shot from this position, if I'm taking a short entry, I'm anticipating what? My stop loss way above this X point, 20 pips. Right there from here we got about 40 pips, so there's gonna be 60 pips. What is my first TP? 38.2 of what? Of A to D. Where's my A point? Right, this is my X point. So if I'm gonna use my X point, this is XA, this is X point, sorry, this is my A point. So A to D, I'm looking at for 38.2 and 618. So I'm gonna bring it all this way. I got a 38.2 right there. First TP being smashed, about 50 pips. Second TP right there being smashed, about 93 pips. That's a nice Gartley pattern. You can find them in all time frame. You just need to do what? Know how to spot these deformed M and W. The moment you get a deformed M and W, all you need to care for is what? Go ahead and check if that pattern is actually valid with your ratio. So you need those ratio by your side, or you're gonna put them on your memory 247. Right, you can actually tell. What do you get right there? Is this a deformed M or W? Let's check it out. You can see this is a deformed M. So what type of pattern is that? Place your fib right from here to the top. What do you have? You got a nice 50 fib, never comes to the 618, a potential bat pattern. 88.6 around this area because this point is not being taken out. So this is an 88.6 fib level starting from A to B. You can see right there. So this area should fall around the 88.6 of X to A. Now let's check it out. XA, you're looking at for 88.6. What do you get? Nice touch, 88.6 right there. So what's going to be your entry right at the 88.6? What are you looking at for? 20 pips stop loss right below the X point, because you are looking to give the trade more room to build. Let's see, this is your X point right here. That's 23 pips. So you're gonna be using like 44 pips or something of such. Your TP1 starting from what? From A to D. So this is your A point. You bring your fib all the way down to this area. Boom. Checking it out. 38.2 TP1 being smashed. You can see price retrace again back to the downside. TP2 618 long TP. As long as the one, oh, this is on about 240 pips in profit. Nicely done. That was what, that is a nice EJ. If you guys don't know now, I'm telling you this secret now. If you're watching this video, Euro JPY is one of the best pair that respects harmonic patterns a lot. If you guys are not aware, that is one of the secrets you're learning, and one of the bonus you're learning right here. I made a lot of banks trading Euro JPY based on harmonic back in the years. That's a nice pattern. You can figure it out right here. Okay, is this a W? Yeah, it looks like it because the low has not been taken out. Let's check it out. Impulse from here to low. What do you have? 50 fib, a potential bat. If you watch this thing, I said bat can extend all the way to what? The 1.13 of X to A. You don't want to forget that this is your X point. Looking at it, this is going to be the last one I'm going to be mentioning. Look at it. This is your X point, right? This is your A point. Sorry, this is your A point. Why? This is your B point right there at that point in time. Then you got your C point right here. C point that never breaks the low. Then your D point is around the 88.6, right, of X to A. Now this is it. If you take any trade from X to A, your D point is around the 88.6 right there. Now you're looking at to short this pair. Let's say you did something of such. You're looking to short right from here, 20 pips away from X. Where is your X point? Right here. So your 20 pips is going to be 45 pips. Let me see 45 pips right here. So if you take a trade of this area, you'll be smashed out. This is a losing trade. Mind you, if you have in mind that I said bat pattern can extend toward the 1.113, the moment you got stopped out and you see this kind of confirmation around the 1.113, this gives you a trade. So where's the stop loss going to be if you're taking a trade from the 1.113? 20 pips above 1.272 right here. So you're going to be using 20 pips above this area. That's going to be 60 pips. Your TP remains the same. And look at it. Look at how far this pair goes. About 280 pips. So if you have been stopped out right there 40 pips, you're still going to make your banks from this one. This is what a potential bat pattern. Bat pattern also is one of the best patterns that you only want to find in your trade almost all the time. On your chart almost all the time. Bat pattern appears almost all the time. Okay guys, with that being said, for today I would like you guys to keep on practicing, and I'm trying to find all these neglect that I gave on your chart. Look out for the deformed M's and W. If I keep on finding it, I'm going to show you as many as I can see on my chart. You can see it right here. So I want you guys to keep practicing. The only way you can master this is what? Get those pictures into your brain and learn how your fib works. Learn how to make use of a fib to master all these things. You can find them on your chart all the time. Okay guys, I'm going to round up the video for today. I would like you guys to give me a like button to hit the like button if you find value in this. And if you guys have not subscribed to this channel, it will be the best time for you to subscribe right now, because I'm going to be providing more content. Okay, with that being said, I would like to say bye bye for today and have a wonderful trading week. Bye.